I get so upset when I hear Mr. Trump denigrate the work of national security and intelligence professionals when I know that they have a very, very challenging job in juggling their professional responsibilities along with their personal responsibilities. So this is, I think, a sad time.
The former CIA director, John Brennan, had his security clearance revoked today by a president he criticized.
To me, this had an eerie memory of an enemies list. These people were being singled out to have either their clearances revoked or in the process of being revoked. To me, smacks of Nixonian-type practices of trying to silence anyone who's willing to criticize this president. That puts us again in uncharted territory.
Senator Warner isn't the only one deeply concerned by the president's actions today. I'm joined by another person in charge of overseeing the nation's intelligence activities, Congressman Eric Swalwell, Democrat from California, member of the House Intelligence Committee and ranking member of the CIA subcommittee. Congressman, on one hand, I hear people who are saying this is petty, this is punitive, it's distraction, it's got more to do with Omarosa than anything else. The memo was dated July 26th and brought out today. It's all weird. But it's kind of more scary than weird.
Good evening, Ali. It's certainly more scary than weird, and it's all of those things. But worse, and I think the big picture here, it makes us less safe. The security clearance is not to benefit John Brennan. It's not to benefit any of the other administration officials from the Obama administration. It's to benefit us. It's so that as people like Gina Haspel, the CIA director, or Mike Pompeo or General Mattis consider threats against the United States and actions they have to take today, they're able to reach back and talk to people who have faced the same threats and able to get their candid advice. That's why it's in place. And Ali, I called a former secretary from a prior administration, and I told him, I said, am I overreacting in my response to what the president is seeking to do? And he said, no. He said, I, all the time, would call on prior administration officials to get their advice. So it makes us less safe. That's what's most important.
And John McLaughlin made an interesting point a few minutes ago, and Ben Rhodes made the point, that John Brennan was in the room. He was in on the decision to go after Osama bin Laden. He was there on the night of the raid. This is actually a guy in a world where terrorism is one of our greatest threats that you'd want to tap into.
That's right. And there's a lot of people just like John Brennan who are speaking out against the president who now may make this enemies list. And that means for our national security that the list of advisors who can consult the administration for the greatest threats that we face will shrink to only include sycophants of the president. And again, that makes us less safe. And as somebody who looks at these threats every day on the Intelligence Committee, Ali, I can tell you that there are a number of decisions that have to be made that include information that prior administration officials had access to and where we would want their input if it came to a life or death situation.
So you and I have had a similar conversation several times in which I'm trying to get to the bottom of the degree to which congressional oversight, you are our representatives, you are the voice of the people in the nation's capital, the degree to which congressional oversight can play a role here, because last month, somebody asked Paul Ryan what he thought about the threat, when this threat first came out about revoking clearances. Here's what Paul Ryan had to say about it.
The president has said that he wants to revoke security clearances from some former national security officials who still hold them and who have made political remarks. Is it dangerous to go down that road?
I think he's trolling people, honestly.
I bet before I get in trouble, that wasn't somebody, that was Casey who asked that question. But Congressman, you know, that's what happens. Paul Ryan says he's trolling. Don't take it too seriously. It's not really that big a deal. And then it happens. And then we're left wondering, this is really a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's time for Paul Ryan to stand up to this president. We've all been waiting for him to do that. Also, Senator Corker, when this was proposed by the president, he said this is something that would be done in Venezuela. And so now I ask Senator Corker and Senator Flake, other people who have honorably spoken out against the president, what are you going to do action-wise to make sure that this type of behavior no longer continues? Because we're slipping toward a banana republic, and they have the power, we're not helpless, to stop that from happening.
Congressman, the official statement from the White House today said that Mr. Brennan has recently leveraged his status as a former high-ranking official with access to highly sensitive information to make a series of unfounded and outrageous allegations, wild outbursts on the internet and television about this administration. Wild outbursts, things about this administration, erratic, outrageous. As you said, we're sliding toward a banana republic. This is the kind of stuff that you become accustomed to in dictatorships, where new governments come in and cleanse the place of anybody who criticizes them.
Yeah, he is a private citizen now. He has a right to say it. And again, Ali, this clearance does not benefit former Director Brennan. It benefits our national security experts who may need to call on former Director Brennan.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, always good to see you. Thank you for joining me
my
tonight.
pleasure.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.